Would that be a good guide for you guys? What artifacts to keep, what artifacts to sell, what artifacts are important? Would you guys like that? Because I can bang that out pretty quick and easy if you want. Just always sell for powder. It's not even worth keeping, right? Keep 1. Keep 2. To 3. And, keep 4 plus. That sound about fair? Just gonna go without saying that if you've already got one and it's maxed out, you can sell any extra ones for powder, right? Okay. Fair? So let's ignore thing. Okay, so symbol of unity, you want one and you want it maxed out. Right? Don't get multiples of these. You couldn't sell this for powder anyway.
You forgot one section like and subscribe to TristenWulf.
Okay, 3F, I think you want 2. Huge crown. It's a 5-star artifact, so you keep 1. Abyssal, I think you keep 1, right? You could have 2. Maybe when Harsetti comes out, a second one, but I've never felt the need to have 2 of these. I've never felt the need to have more than 1 Misha. Alabastron is useful in PvE, but there's never a need for more than 1. This one, niche once in a while, it's used on multiple units, but you never need more than 1. Alinsinox Wrath. Alexa's Basket, I think you only really need 1. Now, I mean, you can... You know, let's go for 2, right? You want 1 on Arby, and it's really nice to have a second one for units like Tempest Surin. So I'd say keep 2. Let's do it this way. Keep 1 to 2. Keep 2 to 3. Keep 4 plus, right? This gun thing, just 1 of them. Nah, this is too confusing. Keep 1. Move basket back up. Dragon's Legacy, nobody really needs more than those. You don't need more of these. You don't, that's just a stat stick. This one, I would strongly recommend you get a plus 27 and a plus 15 Bastion. I can't stress this enough. The difference between plus 27 and plus 30 Bastion is so freaking small. And you'll be so happy that you have a 27 and a 15 when you're building other units. It's future-proof, and there's no way to get more of this artifact, so get 2 Bastion of Hope. I wish I had taken my own advice, and it makes me kind of sad that I've only got a plus 30. Yeah, you and me both, Sue. You and me both. Bastion, you only need 1 of those. You don't really need any of these, so you're keeping it for a buff. If you can get 2 of these, that's great. Right now, I think you only need 1 Bird's Eye. You only need 1 of these. Bloodstone, you only need 1. 2 is luxury. You're rarely in a situation where 2 of them is helpful. Bloody Rose, you only need 1 of. Coin, nobody really uses this. Nobody uses this. Wait, where'd it go? Nobody uses this. Celestine, I'd keep 2. I'd keep 2. It's a semi-limited artifact. It's hard to get multiples of, so I would keep 2. Champion's Trophy, you only need 1. Chatty, people are going to at me over this and say, oh, what about Roy? It's a collab unit who's not coming back. If you want to go get a second one of these, go for it, but I really think you only need 1. Circus Fantasia is not used. This is a dead artifact. This is a silly artifact. This is a meme artifact that's only really good on Tenebria. Crown of Glory isn't used on eBay. You can only get 1 of these. I guess you can use multiple, but you can't. It's only good in Hall of Trials, and you can only have it on 1 unit. So what's the point of having 2 of them, right? This isn't used on anybody. Dingus Orb's really only good on Vivian and top model Lulica, neither of which are super useful. I would get 2 Doctor's Bags. I think 2 Doctor's Bags is really, really nice. Double-edged Decrescent. I think you only need 1 of those. Draco Plate, if you can get it, get 2. Durandals, really... 2 Durandal is useful. I'd get 2 of those. Ducks, you only need 1 Ducks. You only need 1 Exif. I don't think you can ever have enough Elbrises. Elbri. What's the plural of Elbrus? Anyway, the problem with Elbrus is as soon as you think you have enough Elbrus, another freaking knight comes out who wants Elbrus. So, I think I've got like 5 of these, and I would like to have another one. So, yeah. You can never have enough Elbrises. Elegiac Candle, only need 1. Etika Scepter, 2 of them is nice. Fairy Tale, 2 of them is nice. Fan of Light and Dark, you only need 1. Flawless Garment's not a real artifact. Frame is not a real artifact. Full Mail's not a real artifact. You can use this on Alencia, and that's about it, and she's better on her own. Glow Wings, you only need 1. Surprisingly nice artifact to run on Asaria in PvE to give barriers and stuff, especially when you're in situations where too many debuffs causes a problem and you can't put Song of Stars on her, like fighting Queen or A13. Goblet of Oath, you only really need 1. Golden Rose, I think 4 Golden Rose is nice. Is 4 overkill? 4 might be overkill. 3 might be enough. You know, I think we change this to keep 2 and to keep 3 plus. Fair? Ice Crystal, I think you want as many Ice Crystals as you can get. Guide to a Decision, you only need 1. Guiding Light, you can never have enough Guiding Lights. There's 52 Rangers in the game. So, you're gonna need probably about 25-30 Guiding Lights to really cover all of them. I mean, not really, but I think you want 6 or 7 Guiding Lights eventually. Holy Sack, I think a minimum of 2. We may be running into a Holy Sack meta. Banquet. Banquet's single-use arty. Okay, I tell you what. I'm going to acquiesce and say we're going to leave Hostesses too, because Hostess is a limited artifact, and limited artifacts are hard to get, and you don't want somebody else to drop who could use the artifact, and then you don't have a way to have access to it because it's limited. So I think it's limited artifacts especially, they kind of get a little extra boost into being a artifact you want to keep 2 of. Hey Fernling, thank you so much for the sub, buddy. I appreciate the support, man. Thank you so much. Idol's Cheer you only really need 1 of. There was a time when multiples of this were nice, but now it's only for cheesing. Ignition Gloves, you only need 1 of those. Indestructible Gators is only good on Kawazu. Iron Fan is really only good on Biblis. Jacko's Symbol, there's just other DPS artifacts that do what it does. Even though it's limited, and you could argue you want 2 because it's limited, its niche is small. So I'm gonna say 1 on that. Junkyard Dog, 1. Justice for All, 1. Knowledge Seed, 1. Last Tea Time, 1. Bubble Maker, 1. Bubble Maker? This is Frida's artifact, right? This is like Tag's book for priests. I still think not that many priests need or want it. It is limited, though. Oh, this is Summer Ida? Oh, never mind. Down there. You can only get 1 Magic for Friends. You only really need 1 Manica. Mature Sunglasses, I think 2 of them is nice. This is Draco Plate for Knights. Merciless Glutton, you only need 1. Miss Confile. If it comes back, there are arguable PvE uses for 2. Necro and Undine's terrible. Noble Oath is terrible. Gardening Shears is terrible. Otherworldly Machine you can only get one of. POS you can only get one of. Pipit Lance. It's a collab limited artifact. You always keep 2 of collab limited artifacts that actually have use on one character because a second character could come out that needs it, and then you're pissed off. Same thing with Prayer. It can be used on Dark Corvus, Apoc Ravi. I think it's worth keeping 2 of these. Noble Oath, Proof of Valor, keep 3. That's right, 3. You get a plus 31, max it out. You get a plus 27 one, and then you get a plus 15 one. It is so nice to have the flexibility of 3 of these artifacts when you're building teams for things like Advent, when you are wanting to put together a PvE team that needs a little bit of bulk, but also some RTA units can use it. Trust, you'll be glad that you have 3 of these if you can pull it off. A lot of people go for 2 plus 30s, and that's fine, but the difference between plus 27 and plus 30 is so small, people. Look at this. Plus 30, decreased by 30%, or by 29%. It's a 1% damage difference. So for losing 1% on this, I get to have a third one that gives me 23% mitigation on a third unit. I really, really can't endorse it enough. Get 3 Proof of Valors. More than that's kind of a waste, right? Doing 2 plus 27s and 2 plus 15s, just not enough units need it, but this lets you be future-proof, right? So that when you get Shu, and you get Ball, and then you have 1 left over for that other unit that comes out that needs the mitigation of Bastion. Pure White Trust, you only need 1 of those. Rangar Special Drink. There was a time when I said get 2 of these, but it's such a hard artifact to build. It's a plus 15 artifact. I think you only really need 1 drink. Renewed Will, 1 of those. Rihanna and Luciella. I think it's okay to have 2 Rihanna and Luciellas. Right now it's mostly used on Rand, but you can do some nasty things by putting it on units like Janua or even Peyra. It's just a toxic artifact. I think 2 of them is what you'd want to keep there. Rise of the Monarch, you only need 1. Rocket Punch, you should get 2. If it ever comes back, pick up a second one. Every day, I kick myself in the butt for fusing my 2 rocket punches into 1 to make a stronger rocket punch. But hey, back then we thought the artifact was garbage. It wasn't until after the banner was gone that we realized how insane it was. So if you've got 2, keep 2. Please don't fuse them. If you only have 1, then you'll probably only ever have 1 because this artifact's never coming back. Rod of Amaryllis, even though it's quasi-limited, 1 is plenty. You'll never really need 2 of this. I don't care what people say. It's a great artifact, but you're only going to need 1. Only Wukong uses this. Only Sharoon uses this. Only Abigail uses this. Nobody really uses this. You could say Arya, but I don't think she does. You only need 1 Seal of Capture. Secret Armed Storm Sword. This is one I think you keep 3 of. This artifact is disgustingly toxic and can catch your enemies by surprise. Right? You can put this on everybody and their brother has this on Selene, but what about ML Selene? What about Savior Auden? I got cooked by a freaking 250 speed BBK on this. I've been cooked by Arbiter Vildreds on this. This is a great artifact to have multiples of. I think more than 3 is probably pushing it with the cheese, but I think you do want 3 Secret Art Storm Swords. Seductive Flower, I think I don't think you need multiples of this one. I know it's limited, and we said limited should be up here, but I'm having trouble thinking of more than 1 unit to put Seductive Flower on. It's really just for Blooming Lidica. Severed Horn 1, you don't need any of. You don't need any of this. Shepherd. There was a time when lots of people used Shepherd, but Evasion Thieves have kind of fallen by the wayside. I'm still going to say if you've got Shepherd of the Hollow, pick up 2 of them. Just in case Evasion comes back with a vengeance, it's a really nice artifact to have on your damage-dealing Evasion Thieves. Shamadra Staff, you only need 1. Sigurd's Scythe. There was a time when I had Sigurd's Scythe up here. But in a modern world, with so many good warrior artifacts, I think 3 to 4 of them is fine. Yeah, I think 3 to 4 of this. It's right here beside Golden Rose. Snow Crystal, you only need 1 of. Soul Consolation, when this damn thing comes back, I think you want at least... you can never have enough. You can't. You can never have enough. This artifact is so toxically good. I've got what? How many of these things do I have? I've got 3 of them and it's not enough. I want 2 more. Yeah. I'm putting this in the top. You can never have enough Soul Consolations. Song of Stars, you only need 1. There is some luxury to having 2, but that's mostly I don't want to swap gear around for PvE. You only need 1. You don't even really need 1, it's just a nice one. Spatiotemporal Fan, you only need 1. Spear of Purification, niche. Only this is used on Senya, and it's also really good on Summer Break Charlotte. Neither of the units are that important right now. I think you only need 1. Charlotte can be put on other things. I've got 2 of them, and it's just total luxury. It's not necessary. Sphere of Inferno, you only need 1. Sphere of Sadism, you don't need any. Spirit's Breath, you only need 1, and you want it maxed. Mount. This is the free one. Is this Frida's artifact? This one's Frida's artifact, right? This is the spear. This is the tags book. This is the tags book for Soul Weavers. I think you get 2 just because it's limited, and you never know when a Soul Weaver is going to drop that this is really nice on. So I'd get 2 of these. Staff of Ainz Ul Gon, need 1. Star of the Deep Sea, you get 2 of. And the reason is that if you ever want to play Summertime Assyria, she requires this artifact. And if you ever want to play Pirate Captain Flan, she requires this artifact. Without this artifact, they are not real units. They cannot be used. Now people will be like, I don't know, I use my Flan and I don't have this art. No, you don't. You gotta have this artifact, even if it's plus 15. It's better to have 2 of these at plus 15 than 1 of these at plus 30 if you want to play both of those units. Stella Harpa. 2 is nice, but you only need 1. Sweet Miracle, I would get 2. It's most important to max one of these out for Laia, but having a second one is really, really nice. And it's a limited artifact, much like Star of the Deep Sea. It's dependent on do you have units that can use them, but I think it's good to have 2 of these. You only need any sort of Autumn Eclipses. That's only usable on Aden. This can only be used on 1 unit at a time. This artifact is terrible. This artifact you only need 1 of. Only need 1 of this one. Ah, get off my cursor. Only works on winter. Time Matter. I still think you only need 1 of these. The only instance where you would want 2 Time Matters is you want 1 on a damage Zeo while still maintaining it on Vivian and you hate swapping. But really you only need 1. Torn Sleeve, limited, only need 1. Touch of Rekos, you only really need 1 of Touch of Rekos. Don't need any of these, don't need any of this. Don't need any Uberus currently. All it takes is 1 unit to change that. Only really used on 1 unit. Unfading Memories, I think, is a good one to pick up multiples of. Which I know is going to feel odd because I just said you only needed 1 Rod of Amaryllis, and this is effectively AoE Rod of Amaryllis, but it's semi-limited. No, it's not semi-limited, it's straight up limited. So having 2 of these is kind of nice. Unseen Observer, I think you only need 1. It's best in slot on Flan, and it's best in slot on what's her name, on Astromancer Elena. I take it back. Get 2 of them. Knuckles, just bad artifact. Victorious Flag. There was a time when I said keep 2 Victorious Flag, but its use is so niche, and there are so many other damage boosting artifacts now, I think it's fine to push this to plus 30. If you want to keep 2 of them, that's fine, but you have so many other options for damage, I don't think you need to have 2 of these anymore. I had 2 for the longest time, and I've since fused them into 1. You only need 1 Violet's Talisman, you only need 1 Wall of Order. 2, I mean, there are multiple units that can use it, but they have other options that as well. Warhorn, you want 2 of. much like Bastion of Hope, you get a plus 27 and a plus 15. Why, you ask? Why would I give up? Because the difference between plus 27 and plus 30 is 0.5% of attack. 0.5%. It's almost nothing. And having a second one of these lets you tune your PvE teams. You're probably going to want the plus 27 on a PvP unit like Mediator Queric, and then you can stick your plus 15 one on, I don't know, say Sinful Angelica or Conqueror Lilies or something that lets your speed tuning shift around so that you can build easier one-shots and you don't have to swap artifacts around every time you want to do it. So just 0.5% attack is not worth having a plus 30. Get a plus 27 and a plus 15. Trust you'll thank me down the road. Wind Rider. I think Wind Rider, you want at least 3, maybe 4 Wind Riders. It's just really, really good. Some could argue up here, but I don't think there's that many thieves that need it. But there's at least 3, maybe 4. How many Wind Riders do I have currently? I've got 3, and I'd like 1 more. So yeah, I think we're fine to keep this in the 3 plus column. Wings of Light and Shadow, you only really need 1. Some will argue that it's usable on multiple units, but you only need 1. Free artifact, you can only have 1. Adamant Shield, there was a time when this was up here. But it's kind of fallen away with so many other knights just having built-in mitigation. I think you want 3 or 4 Adamant Shields, right? I mean, I've got, yeah, I've only got 3, and I'm perfectly content with 3. So 3 to 4 Adamant Shields. You don't need any Ambrotes. You don't need any Andre's Crossbows. You can never have enough Aureus. Just when you think you have finished building your last Aureus, another freaking knight comes out who wants Aureus. Right? I'm not even kidding. 3, 6, 7. I got 8 Aureus, and I'm already starting to work on my 9th because another frickin' knight came out that wanted Aureus, so I'm working on my 9th Aureus, or my 8th Aureus. Can never have enough of this damn artifact. Even when you think you've got enough, just build another one. Balthazar's Orbiculum. Orbiculum. If that's powder. You keep 1 for collector's purposes, but right now this one's powder. This one's safe to sell. You know what? We totally neglected this safe to sell for powder tier. I think this one's giga safe to sell for powder. We're just now dipping into the 4-star artifacts, so we're gonna start populating this tier. This one you can't really sell for powder at all because it's a free one. Keep 1, free one. Free one, or not free, but you get it from a mission. Crimson Seed, can't sell it. Cute Panda, can't sell it. Microphone, can't sell it. Dust Devil, I think you want 2 Dust Devils. Some would argue 3, but I think 2's enough. I've got 2, and I've never felt the need for a 3rd. El's Fist, totally safe to sell this one for powder. No one really uses it. There was a time when Elia's Knife was good to have 2 of them. I currently have 2 Elia's Knives, but one's on Vildred and the other's on Cid. There are other artifacts that would work just as well on these 2, but it's kind of a nice DPS artifact to have. I'm going to continue to recommend it for 2, and you can sell the rest. Eternus, I'm also going to recommend 2, and you can sell the rest. You can only get 1 of Free Spirit Terria's artifact. Free artifact, you can't sell it, so you may as well just keep it. Where were we? Hellcutter? How many Hellcutters do I have? There was a time when I had 2 of these, but I think that time has passed. I've still got 2 of them, but I think... yeah, the second one's not even used. I think we've come into a time now where Hellcutter is safe to just have 1. And you can powder the rest. Hilliglance, I think you're safe to have 1. This is an event artifact, so you can't powder it. This is a Nice artifact to have one of. Infinity Basket, you're safe to powder. Caladra, I do think you want multiple Caladras. It's really nice for PvE. Love Potion's an event artifact, can't powder it. Mag's Tome, I think you want 2 Mag's Tome, the rest you can powder. Midnight Bloom, event artifact, you can't powder those. I think you want 2 minimum Moonlight Dream Blades, powder the rest. That's an event artifact, you can't powder it. Can't powder Cookie, it's event. Event. Holy smokes. If you can get it, I think you want at least 3 portraits. There was a time you wanted more, but that time has passed. Prelude, you can only get 1. It's an event artifact. Radiant, you can only buy 1, really. Rainbow Scales is an event artifact. You make a whole ass category for the... You just might as well keep them, you can't sell them. Rosa Hargana. I think you keep 1 of this artifact. I think occasionally you'll find uses for it, you powder the rest. This is an event artifact. Sachet of Thanes, you want 3. Every time you think you got enough sachets, you'll want another one. You want a minimum of 2. Minimum of 2. Having 3 will help you out later in the game. It's an artifact that when something dies, it's CR, your team gets CR push, or when you kill something, your team passively CR pushes, even if it's not that unit that does the killing. What a great artifact. Sepulchrum, you can just sell that for powder. Shepherd of Chaos, you have to buy, you can't powder that. Silver Rain, there's an argument for just powder it. I guess keeping 1 because it does have niche use here and there. Sierra Wren, you can safely powder. There are some units that it's nice to have on it, but it's few and far between and niche. If you want to keep 1, go for it, but I think you're safe to sell for powder. Mind you, when I say safe to sell for powder, it's always a good idea to keep 1 artifact, because you never know what could get buffed, right? But if you really need powder, these are artifacts that just aren't really used anywhere currently. Event Arty, safe to powder, keep 1 of these. Hell, get 2 of these if you can. You need a whole ass other row for Tag's book. You can never have enough Tag's book. Let me spell this out for you the best way I can. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 Tags books, and I'm building another one, and after I build this one, I'm going to build another one. Because you can never have enough Taga Hells books. Savvy? Never sell a Togs book. Ever powder a Togs book. Just take 1 to plus 15, start immediately working on the next one. Or plus 30, start immediately working on the next one. Tear of the Desert is an event already, you can't sell it. Same with can't sell New World, can't sell the Stupid Rabbit. Can't sell the Chariot. Water's Origin, this is right up here with Mog's Tome. This used to be one where having multiples, but we've gotten so many new 5-star artifacts, I really think you can get away with just 1 Water's Origin now. But if you want to get 2, you go for it, but I think you can get away with 1. Wondrous Potion Vial, you only need 1 of those. That's an event artifact. 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 Good lord. Okay, Alsatian Spear. This is one that you could build 1 of if you have a need for it. I really like mine on Terranor Guard, but it's a 3-star artifact. You can get it back at any point in time you want. Just do some summons to get it back if you want to build one. If you want to keep a plus 30, go for it, but it's safe to powder this artifact. I'm sorry, it was Ancient Sheath. Ancient Sheath is the one that it's nice to have 1 of. Alsatian Spear, you sell the shit out of that. But Ancient Sheath, you can go ahead and get a plus 1 of these because it's a nice DPS for your Terranor Guard. But other than Terranor Guard, it's not really used on anybody. Safe to sell. Aqua Rose, you always sell. Not used anywhere. Not used anywhere. Not used anywhere. Not used anywhere. Cursed Compass, you could argue that it's nice to have one. I would recommend keeping a plus 30 of everything, but if you need the powder, it's safe to sell. Daydream Joker, you want to have at least 3 Daydream Jokers maxed out. Minimum. Now, once you got 3, you can sell the rest, but at least 3. Devil's Brand, safe to sell. Illusion, Egg of Illusion, safe to sell. Envoy's Pipe, safe to sell. Exorcist Tonfa has been wholly replaced by pretty much a dozen different DPS artifacts. There was a time when you wanted 2 or 3 Tonfas, and that time has passed. There are just better options now. Sell the hell out of your Tonfas. Totem you can sell. Goblin Lamp you can sell. Grail of Blood you can sell. There are some people that say Labyrinth Cube still has some uses. I say those people are coping. Safe to sell. Mighty Yaksha, safe to sell. Oath Key. Some people say you want one, but now that we've got artifacts like Sword of Autumn and Arunka's artifact and Symbol of Unity, its usefulness has plummeted. If you want to keep one, go for it. I think it's totally safe to sell. We'll put it at the front of the list here. Prophetic Candlestick, I think you want at least 2. At least. It's a very, very useful artifact. It's a 5-star artifact and 3-star artifact clothing. Keep a couple of those. Randon's Memorandum is another one people say is a pretty good artifact. It's not, sell it. Sword of Morning, sell that. Timeless Anchor used to be decent, and now it's not, sell it. And these are all 2-star artifacts, so forget those, right? So you could argue that this bottom row, it's good to keep one of everything, because who knows what'll get buffed and what'll get changed. And if you're a collector, I strongly recommend you keep one of everything. Just don't level it, right? I've got that situation on a lot of my artifacts. I've got a lot of artifacts where I have the capability to take it, it's a good example here, Goblin's Lamp. I have the capability to plus 30 this, but I didn't. I'm just hanging on to it, but on the outside chance that some piece of content shows up where Goblin Lamp's very weird kit works great for me. Until that happens, I'm not putting a single charm into leveling this plus 5 piece of garbage, but I'm hanging on to it just to, you know, because I'm a collector and because you never know. And then every other Goblin Lamp I get, I sell. Same with Forest Totem. 12% chance to grant continuous healing for 2 turns after I'm attacked. Maybe they'll buff it and make this a 50% chance, and suddenly this will be useful. Until then, it stays down here unleveled, and all the other ones get sold. So if you want to be a collector and keep one of everything, go for it. But these are artifacts that currently have no legitimate use or are just power crept by other artifacts in the game. So all of these you can sell for powder pretty safely. As for all of these, once you've got 2 of these, you can powder the rest, although I strongly recommend against ever powdering a 5-star artifact, especially a limited collab artifact. Because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what unit's going to come out that's going to want it, and suddenly you wish you had 3. Suddenly you wish you had 4. But for the 4-star artifacts on this list, once you've got 2 of these 4-star artifacts, go ahead and powder the rest. Get your powder so that you can buy artifacts you actually need. The only exception would be Tagahel's Ancient Book and Arius. These 2 4-star artifacts you will never have enough of, and just keep building them. I mean, maybe once you get into the double digits, you can start powdering them, but if you can get into the double digits, then you don't need a tier list, right? So there you go. That is my how many to keep and what to sell tier list. So what do you guys think? Am I on target? Am I coping? Am I crazy?